Hello, everyone, and welcome. Jackie and I are very excited about bringing 15 minutes of mindfulness to your afternoon, work day, or maybe evening, depending what time zone you're in. So let's dive right into it with some mindful movement first. So here is to Jackie.
Thanks, Pierre. Hi, everyone. Welcome. So, we are going to start by doing some sensing from the inside out. So, I'd like you to start by wherever you're sitting or standing right now. If you'd like to close your eyes, feel free. If you'd like to keep them open with a slightly downward gaze, that's a nice way to do this exercise, also. We're just going to sense our hands from the inside out. So, where might you be feeling sensation in your hands? Could be tingling, could be waves, could be numbness. Also, temperature, heat, coldness. What do you feel happening in your hands? And also, where do your hands begin? And where do they end? So, really sensing from the inside out our natural boundaries and borders. And then we're going to bring that awareness into another extremity, which is our feet. So go ahead and sense your feet from the inside out. Feeling for temperature, feeling for sensation. And as we do this, I want to acknowledge that any sensation or lack of sensation is completely fine. And now we're going to shift that awareness to our face. So sensing your face, your forehead, your cheeks, your chin, your lips, your nose, your eyes, from the inside out. Where does your face end? And where does something else begin? See if you can rest your attention on the meeting place. All right, now we can let that go. And we are going to do some shoulder rolls. You can do them right where you are. So we're just going to roll our shoulders forward, just loosening up our joints. They can get really sort of rigid or stuck with us being at the computer for a lot of the day, for many of us, not everyone. And then roll them back. And then we're going to roll them forward and alternate them, almost like we're swimming. And then same thing back, reverse it. And then take one hand, put it toward the screen, take your other, pull back on your wrist. Switch hands. Pull back on your opposite wrist. It's really nice to stretch out our arms, our wrists from a lot of typing. And we're going to flip and do it the other way so that our underarm is facing up. And switch. And lastly, we're going to take our hands, put them together, come up through the center. We're going to do a sunrise and then just open up. And one more up through the center and open up. And that is our mindful movement portion of the session today.
Thank you, Jackie. It's amazing what movement can do. Even in a few minutes of movement, I feel so much better. So I would like us to pause and take a few kind of deep breaths, slow and deep, together. Which is, in a way, an invitation to arrive into this very moment. Not the moment we were in earlier, not the moment you're going to be in after the session today, but right now. And as Jackie mentioned earlier, you can close your eyes, which is a good thing for this, or you can have a soft gaze towards the floor. The idea is not to be looking around and distracted by other things. And when you're ready, you can go back to normal breathing. And our theme for today's session is being kind to yourself. And what we mean by being kind to yourself is cultivating and nurturing the ability to notice the negative self-talk and to be able to reframe it into something that's more realistic and that's more constructive. Now, to be able to notice, we need to slow down. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to slow down. And the way we're going to do this, I'd like to invite you to bring your attention to the physical sensation of the breath. So where are you feeling the breath right now? Some people say it's in the nostrils, other people in the chest, maybe the abdomen. So where is that for you? And the feeling of the breath is quite subtle. So we're looking for nuances here. Some people find it helpful to put the hand on the stomach and feel the movement or the sensation of the hand touching the stomach as it moves. So feel free to do that if you think that would help. Now for most of us, after we focus on the breath for a few breaths, guess what happens? Our mind wanders and it goes places. So when you notice your mind wandered, which is quite normal, just gently bring your attention back to the physical sensation of the breathing. So it's not a big deal. When you notice, just bring your attention back to that physical sensation. And the good news is that this ability to notice when the mind wanders it's actually trainable, which means the more we practice, the better we get at it. So let's continue practicing. When your mind wanders, what are you telling yourself? So many people report that when their mind wanders, they notice some self-talk, and it tends to be sometimes, or more times than not such a positive and pretty self-talk. It tends to be more along the lines, oh no, my mind wandered, or I'm not good at this, or I'm not doing this right. So if you happen to notice such self-talk, I would like to invite you to acknowledge it first, and then to see if you can reframe it into something that's more constructive, that's more realistic. So it could be something like, I'm glad I noticed. I'm glad I'm building the capability of noticing. So shifting to a much more growth mindset, where we're looking at the opportunity and at the learning that we're getting. So this is exactly what we refer to when we say, be kind to yourself. It's basically when things happen that are not desired, or not what we expect or what we hope for, instead of scolding ourselves, or maybe even worse, scolding the world, instead of that, we would pause and we would acknowledge what went on, and then reframe it into something that's more kind and more realistic. So if we practice this and turn this into a habit that starts to show up throughout our workday and our relationships, we're likely to start to feel good, and we're likely to extend this more and more in our life, and also extend it as we deal with other people. So let's practice some more. And again, what we're practicing here is we go back to pay attention to the physical sensation of the breath. And when you notice that the mind wanders, smile, acknowledge that you're building that muscle, and bring your attention back. And if you notice that negative self-talk, remind yourself that this is all good, that you are building those strengths, and bring your attention back to the breath. So let's practice for a few more breaths. So when you're ready, you can put a soft smile on your face, open your eyes, and reconnect with your surroundings and also with us. So thank you all for joining today. We invite you to join us again next Tuesday, same time, same place, different practice. And between now and then, this could be a practice you can revisit and then join us and be ready for some more. we are on time, so sometimes we may have a little extra time for comments and maybe responding to comments, but we are at 3:45, and our commitment is to keep this to 15 minutes as we promised. So we want to wish you an amazing rest of the day now that you're mindful and ready. Thank you, Jackie, for helping us be mindful.
You're welcome. Thanks, Pierre, for beautiful practice.
Right. Thank you, everybody. See you hopefully next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.